Welcome to Transformation Matters. Shift from grumpy to grateful, from heartbroken to happy, from helpless to hopeful, from jealous to joyous, and cluttered to clarity. Using 12 themes from the book Live Inspired, which are stories of brave self-discovery and the wisdom gleaned along the way, I will be sharing an idea, a brief story, and tips you can practice for a holistic transformation of your heart, space, and life. I'm Laura Staley, founder of Cherish Your World and author of Live Inspired. I passionately guide people to heal, transform, and thrive. And I've learned that there are basically 4 areas, I'm sure there are more, of living awake, living true, living joyously, and living beyond that really shape a self-discovery. Today I want to share about creating space for joy with a brief story and some tips and ideas to support your creating space for joy in your self-discovery. It's been a few years ago, I got a text message from my sweet love, a man that I met while after my marriage had ended. I got brave and put myself out there in the dating world, and we just completely hit it off and have a rich and wonderful relationship even at the time of this recording, and hopefully for a long time after this moment. Well, he sent me a text, and we had talked about this because the winters in Ohio were pretty brutal. We hit that wind chill, below zero wind chills, et cetera, and we really started exploring the possibility of relocating. So we had begun the conversation about that, and it excited me and it intrigued me. I hadn't lived anywhere else other than Central Ohio my entire life. So, even thinking about this was really quite exciting. Well, one day he sent a text and it just said, "Hey, where would you like to live? If you could live anywhere, where would you like to live?" And I texted back, "Oh my gosh, Asheville, North Carolina." And he texted back, "Well, we can do that if you like to do that." And I was like, wow, wait, hold on. I thought we were just sort of brainstorming and playing around and kind of exploring and researching, and what? Wait. And that evening, he said, "No, I really mean this. We could relocate, Laura." And I just, from the depths of my gut and heart, I burst forth a yes. And we high-fived and danced and giggled and got very excited. And I began a process of, getting my house in Ohio ready for sale. He had never been to Asheville, North Carolina, so I was kind of like, well, you might want to come and check it out, make sure it's full of the things that you care about and be a nurturing place for your heart and soul and body. So we made a couple trips down here looking for a place. Of course, he fell in love. He loves nature, the beautiful mountains of North Carolina. A little backdrop, I, at 6 years old, watched The Sound of Music for the first time and fell in love with Maria. The opening scenes of that movie still bring me to tears. Her joyful character and her dancing in the mountains and the hills are alive with the sound of music. Oh my gosh, forever, forever. And I didn't realize this, but once I learned the wisdom of feng shui, I looked back at all the different places that I had lived and realized I had put up images of mountains. I just had fallen in love with the mountains, and it's kind of that environmental affirmation that I had created. And here, even my dorm room back in the days when I was in college had images of mountains. Oh, so here I was in this wonderful experience of letting go of that many more things, because when you move, that's the opportunity to purge and offload and unburden a life from anything from the past that just isn't going to be part of your future. And I hadn't even done any research as to whether my house would sell, but it was amazing how easily and effortlessly, seemingly, each next right action flowed for both of us, as he cleared his condo and I cleared things from the house and got it up for sale. It sold in one day. It was really quite joyous experience for both of us, and an opportunity to purge. Plus, I realized I was letting go of a place that I had outgrown in many ways. I had learned so many things. Of course, it was tough to think about leaving beloved ones, but people were so supportive. My daughter and closest friends, and I knew it was just an 8-hour drive to get back to see them, which I have, of course, done. At any rate, that's my little recap of my story of relocating to North Carolina, and there's been no looking back. I'm so grateful that I made the shift to my soul's natural habitat here in the mountains of Western North Carolina. So what are some ideas that you could use to create space for joy in your life? Well, first of all, you might ask yourself if there are activities that you do that you're resenting and feeling cranky about, and they make your stomach hurt, and that's different from the butterflies. And can you let go of any obligatory or soul-sucking activities that leave you with that resentful, drained, or maybe even cranky feeling? Because when you operate from a willing, happy heart, wow, it's a whole different energy vibe, right? When you say yes to that activity and you really mean it, then it becomes a joy to do that for another person. And it's a contribution to the world and to people when you say yes with that willing, happy heart. It reminds me of the group of people. I heard about the group of friends that went to a restaurant, and some of them just couldn't eat any of the food, and the whole group just stood up and said, yeah, we need to find another restaurant where everybody can eat the food. And what they discerned was, gosh, it's an energy vibe, right? If some of them are happy and some of them are unhappy and having to eat food that wasn't good for their bodies, wow, not a great fit. So it's really looking for that great fit experience. So they all got up and they went and they created space. They created room for people who would love that restaurant and their food, and found a place where everybody really loved the food and had that happy, high energy vibe. So I encourage you to clear your calendar of any soul-sucking activities as best you can. And then clear your physical space of belongings that no longer support your life. These can be artifacts of unfinished business, which often come with agitation or shame. Either finish those projects, delegate them, or just put it on the chuck it list. There's the bucket list of things that you'd love to do someday, and then there's the chuck it list. So you can put those on the those items on the chuck it list. Just too much, oh my gosh, cull back those Tupperware containers and that whole drawer full of rubber bands. You probably don't need them. You have more than enough for a lifetime, and share them with others. And then there are the unloved ones, and they're neglected and ignored, and it's often comes with that energy vibe. There's brand new, never used, and also all those piles of paper. Do this one drawer at a time. Put the timer on for 15 minutes and have at it. and see how much better you feel, one closet at a time, one shelf at a time. This often creates so much freedom for your psyche, because even when it's behind closed doors, it's a drain because you know it's there. Some part of you knows it's there and taking up space rather than freeing you. So unburden your space and your heart of all the emotional energies associated with those unused belongings. And know that fear is often underneath clutter, all forms of clutter. It's about fear. And as you shift out of fear and into love, you'll just want to let go and feel that great feeling of freedom and joy in letting go. Another idea is to release yourself or minimize contact with really difficult people. There are the folks who kind of live in the numb, reactive ways of being in life. They might be bullies or just chronically unhappy, negative folk who, no matter what you do or say or how you hold space for them, it just is such a drain on your energy. And so limit, very brief encounters with those folks. Or, know that it's okay. It's a valid choice to walk away from something that's truly toxic and dangerous for your heart, soul, mind, or body. And graciously allow these folks that release with love and gratitude for all you've learned and how they've contributed to your evolution as a person. Basically set free what suffocates you. If you know it's time to relocate to a new place or a new house, trust your gut and begin taking those actions to go. Life is short, and those gut cues can be honored and celebrated. Your heart knows the answer. Your gut knows the answer to whether it's time to move and release a place from your life experience and to begin a fresh adventure. Next time, we'll discuss a fresh start with a brief story and tips to support your self-discovery and transformations in your experience of being alive. This is Transformation Matters with your host, Laura Staley, founder of Cherish Your World and author of Live Inspired, passionately guiding people to thrive. You are loved more than you can even imagine. You matter to our world. Till next time.